Would you give us your name, your institutional affiliation, and your teaching and research interests?
Yes, my name is Hassan Ajami. I teach philosophy at the Maricopa Community Colleges in Arizona. I teach at different colleges. At the same time, I published 26 books in English and Arabic covering philosophy, science, culture, and languages.
We are meeting here, Hassan, at the NEH Summer Institute on Bioengineering, Ethics, and the Humanities, which is organized by the Center for Biology and Society and the Lincoln Center for Applied Ethics. Given your background and interests, would you tell us what drew you to this institute?
Well, the fact this seminar is very important for me, and it's related to my research, which is philosophy and the sciences, specifically philosophy of science. So in this seminar, we cover different topics. For example, bioethics, which is a branch in philosophy. And my major is philosophy. I am teaching philosophy. And also I wrote up about ethical theories and about justice. So it is directly relevant to the topics that I'm doing with regard to my research in English and Arabic as well. And also it is related to my job, which is teaching philosophy. So we have philosophy of science, and also we have bioethics, and those are all branches of philosophy. And this is the topic, and these are the topics which we are covering also during the seminar. And that's why I participated.
Over the course of the last few weeks, we have had many scientists, lab directors, ethicists, biologists, and literary specialists also. Would you comment on one or two readings or lab activities or discussions or anything that to you are particularly significant?
There are many things which are really very significant for us as humanists here. So what we're doing here is practicing humanism and science at the same time. This is important to mention. So we're doing humanism, being ourselves like humanists, teach research related to the humanities. At the same time, we're doing science. So there are different things to cover. Just to be brief, for example, we had the experience of going to the lab and doing some actual science in biology, inspecting the bacteria and transforming the bacteria from one state to another, something that I did not do at all. So what I was concentrating on is theoretical philosophy and even theoretical science, like theoretical physics and cosmology. Yet I have been never to, I didn't go to a lab before, so that was my first time. It's a great experience to actually go to a lab and to practice science as it is, as the biologists do. So this is a great advantage by the institution and what we did in the seminar during this summer at ASU. Other things that we are important that we did concentrate on, and for example, trying to integrate the humanities on one hand and the natural sciences such as biology and physics on the other hand. From that perspective, I have been working on developing integrative definitions. For example, integrative definition of science itself. What does it mean or what is the meaning of science? What is science? So we could have an integrative definition of science based on the humanities such as sociology and philosophy, and also based on the natural sciences such as physics and biology. So we did a lot of thought experiments as well, and the institutions led us as participants to think about very interesting topics.
Fascinating insights, Hassan. You used the word integration and integrative a couple of times. What role would you say a liberal arts education that integrates the sciences with the arts and the humanities, what role would a liberal arts education have in preparing students to face the challenges of the 21st century?
Yes, yes, very important question. Exactly. This is the aim, the basic aim, or one of the basic aims of these institutions at ASU, among other programs, of course, across America and also in Arizona, is to integrate the different disciplines, humanities, as you mentioned, and natural sciences. This is very important for our students to prepare them for the actual life and actual jobs out there when they graduate. Uh, for many reasons, because those disciplines are interrelated. So I cannot be educated just in one discipline, like in sociology or philosophy, while I'm totally ignorant about sciences, about biology or physics. That's not really a good education. So a good education is integrative. It integrates, it's holistic, let's put it this way. We have to be holistic. So we're living in a world which is holistic. You can see it on the internet. You could go to any country, go to any institution, deal with any human being on earth, even if whether we know their languages or not, even if we know their cultures or not. So it is holistic. We are entering a holistic century, holistic era. We could not ignore the fact that our students should have a holistic view of the universe and of the sciences. And that's why integrating the humanities and the natural sciences will lead our students to have a holistic vision and conception of reality, which will enable us as humans to evolve. So we are in fact relying, as teachers, instructors, and researchers, we are relying on our students, our future generations, to lead us to a better humanity. How could we do that? We should have an integrative, holistic vision and view of reality, including human society and justice and human rights.
Very interesting, Hassan. Final question. If a student is watching this and listening to you, or someone, an adult who hasn't gone to school in a while, or someone who is considering going to a university to pursue higher education, and they're listening to you, to this video now, what advice would you have for them?
For our potential students and actual students as well, or potential
Yes,
students.
and anyone who's actually listening to this conversation, what
Yeah.
would you tell them about higher education?
Higher education.
Why it is important? Is it worth pursuing this holistic, integrative model that you are advocating for? Someone who's just listening and watching.
Yes, I understand. I mean, as a potential student or as a human anywhere on earth, including potential students who are seeking higher education, in fact, I encourage you from all of my holistic soul and heart as a human being, not as an instructor or a teacher or a researcher or an author, etc. I encourage you as a human being to pursue your education and to gain education at colleges and universities anywhere on earth. Why? Because education is an essential part of defining us as human beings. So what is a human being? Of course, we have different definitions, but basically, as Aristotle said, a human being is a political animal, which means what? He or she is a social, rational, moral, political being. So how could I become social, political, and rational in addition to moral living being? In order for me to be fully human, I should gain education. Without education, I could not be fully human. I should have the experience of gaining education, formal education, from a college, from a university, anywhere on earth. And that's what will define us as human beings. Education defines us as human beings. Without it, we will lose our humanity and the human civilization will collapse. So what's important, you ask about what is also the importance. In addition to what I said, I mean, if our students or any human being on earth, if he or she is not pursuing education and higher education, our human civilization would collapse. So we have a problem. You could see it also on the internet. Some people are talking about it. We are afraid of the collapse of human civilization. Don't look at my color. Don't listen to my accent. We only have one language, which is a universal language shared by all human beings, and that is the language of the mind, of the intellect, of education. If you don't pursue your education, 10 years from now, human civilization would collapse. We don't want to see that.
Thank you, Hassan, for
Thank
that
you.
challenging statement.
Thank you.
You have
I
given
highly
us a lot of things to think about.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time to
It's
do
my
this.
great honor. It's my great honor.
Thank you, Hassan.
Thank you.